The best 1440p gaming monitor options keep growing with new brands, features, and ever-growing capabilities. It's an exciting time to be a PC gamer, but that also means that selecting the best gaming monitor for your rig is growing more complicated every day. The selection can be overwhelming, from screen smoothing technologies, NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync to ultra-fast refresh rates that can reach a mind-blowing 360 Hz. Number 1. Dell S3222DGM. The Dell S3222DGM is the best gaming monitor for many gamers. This follow-up to the highly rated S3222DGF opens in new tab, boasts a 32-inch VA, opens in new tab panel, QHD resolution and 165 Hz refresh rate with adaptive sync, opens in new tab support. Other perks in its favor are 85% coverage of DCI-P3 and a display curve with an 1800 radius. However, Dell really knocks it out of the park with the S3222DGM contrast ratio, opens in new tab. VA panels are known for their excellent contrast, but the S3222DGM is rated at an impressive 3001, easily blowing away IPS competitors. But our sample managed to better that figure by a third, coming in at 4001 in instrumented tests. This 32-inch monitor offers plenty of vertical screen real estate without the need for scrolling and 1440p resolution. Opens in new tab, the current sweet spot between image quality and gaming performance. And while the S3222DGM is targeted primarily at gamers, we found that it is also great for general productivity and anything in between. While the S3222DGM lacks HDR support, its excellent contrast doesn't detract from that missing bullet point, and its overall performance is hard to beat at this price point. Throw in Dell's usual solid build quality, and this represents a great monitor for enthusiasts looking to build out a mid to high budget gaming PC. Number 2. Monoprice Dark Matter 42770. With a price tag of around $250, the Monoprice Dark Matter 42770 is an easy-to-recommend 1080p gaming monitor with a wide color gamut, excellent contrast ratio for an IPS display, and solid build quality. At this price, you're getting a relatively bare-bones monitor, but Monoprice spent its time throwing in the features that matter most to gamers on a budget. The Dark Matter 42770 offers a 1 GTG response time and tops out with a 144 Hz refresh rate. Another feather in its cap is that the monitor supports both AMD FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync adaptive sync technologies. Although the monitor doesn't support HDR, its native dynamic range is excellent, and it features a wide color gamut and excellent gamma tracking. Its deep blacks are welcome here given that this is an IPS panel, with its color and contrast on par with monitors that cost hundreds of dollars more. While the Dark Matter 42770 hits many high notes, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that it lacks USB ports or speakers. But given its attractive pricing and performance, we'll gladly accept those negatives for the great overall performance brought on by this 25-inch monitor. Number 3. Gigabyte G27F2. The Gigabyte G27F2 represents a revamp of the G27F we first reviewed in late 2020. While the original monitor was highlighted by a 144 Hz panel, the new G27F2 revision ups that figure to 170 Hz. While that might not be as fast as more high-end Full HD gaming monitors, we have to remember that the G27F2 has a bargain basement price of just over $200. However, that low price doesn't mean that Gigabyte skimped on quality. You'll still find low response times and input lag compared to others in this segment. In addition, the build quality throughout is excellent, as is color accuracy and contrast, which is somewhat of a revelation given that the G27F2 uses an IPS panel instead of V8. If there's one thing we could knock the G27F2 for, it would be its lack of integrated speakers. But that's just being nitpicky towards an overall excellent performance value in the Full HD gaming monitor segment. Number 4. Dell G3223Q. The Dell G3223Q is a stellar entry in the 4K gaming monitor segment, offering a 32-inch panel size, low total input lag, measured at just thirds, and an excellent balance between response and motion resolution. As you might expect for a 4K gaming monitor, We have a 144Hz refresh rate with support for both AMD FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync adaptive sync technologies. Not only does the Dell G3223Q nail the basics, but it also offers a bright and colorful picture, and color accuracy straight out of the box is top-notch in both DCI-P3 and sRGB color gamuts. With display HDR 600 support, accuracy and color reproduction were also well represented in HDR mode. If there were any downsides, it was that contrast and color gamut volume came up a little bit short compared to some of its close rivals. However, with a street price of less than $800, the Dell G3223Q is easy to recommend for 4K gamers. Number 5. HyperX Armada 27. The HyperX Armada 27 is one of those standout monitors that offers the whole package. This is a 27-inch QHD display with a 2560x1440 resolution, 165Hz refresh rate HDR and premium build quality that we expect from HyperX. One thing that makes the Armada 27 stand out, along with its smaller Armada 25 sibling, is the inclusion of a gaming mount for attaching the monitor to your desk instead of a traditional stand. This gives customers greater flexibility in positioning the Armada 27 for height, swivel and tilt. Video processing on the Armada 27 is solid, with an excellent overdrive implementation, low input lag and minimal motion blur from the backlight strobe. Throw in handy calibration tools and good image quality, and the Armada 27 is a definite winner. We had only a few minor quibbles with the monitor, like the lack of speakers, but that doesn't detract from HyperX's rock-solid entry into the gaming monitor field. Number 6. MSI Optix MAG274QRF-QD. 90% of DCI-P3 would be impressive, so this is one color saturated screen. Contrast is also strong for an IPS panel, hitting 1129.11 after our calibration. And for those concerned about speed, this 165Hz screen kept up with the 170Hz Gigabyte M27Q in our testing. Its backlight strobe for fighting motion blur is also a disappointment. In addition, this is yet another gaming monitor to offer HDR but without any noticeable image boost over SDR. But if you can get past those caveats, you'll enjoy the most colorful monitor to ever hit our lab. Number 7. Viotek GNV34DBE. The Viotek GNV34DBE is a well-performing and affordable curved gaming monitor. Its 1500R curve proved to add an immersive touch while gaming, helping to fill our peripheral vision. Despite its tight curve, we still found the GNV34DBE fit for working. There was no distortion, and we enjoyed having multiple windows open for boosted productivity. But it's not just about the GNV34DBE curve. You also get a 144Hz refresh rate and response times and input lag that kept up with 144Hz rivals during our testing. On the battlefield, we realized the high pixel density of a 1440p screen and smooth gaming without any screen tearing, thanks to FreeSync. Color and contrast were competitive with pricier gaming displays too. With its edge-lit backlight, the GNV34DBE also makes a good HDR display, offering a noticeable improvement over your typical SDR monitor. At its low price, the build quality of the stand is lacking, but for a speedy gaming monitor with an effective curve, the Viotek GNV34DBE is a solid deal. Number 8. Aorus CV27Q. Gigabyte's Aorus CV27Q is the best 1440p gaming monitor when it comes to high-speed gaming performance. With its impressive specs, it shined in our input lag and response time tests when pitted against 144Hz rivals. Sure, you could get slightly better performance from the 1008F version, the Aorus CV27F, but then you wouldn't be getting that sharper QHD resolution or higher pixel density. 109p. With a VA panel offering 3001 contrast, image quality is no joke either. The CV27Q has a low black level that made image depth look great, particularly with HDR titles. But as far as HDR goes, this monitor only goes up to 400 nits brightness. We prefer HDR displays that hit at least 600 nits. Bonus features include Aorus Active Noise Cancellation, ANC feature, which uses two mics on the front bezel to reduce background noise others may hear coming from your gaming headset, a 1500R curve and RGB lighting on the back. The Asus ROG Strix G279Q on this page is a hair faster. Number 9. Asus ROG Strix G279Q. If you have extra room in your budget and want to squeeze out that additional drop of performance from your 1440p screen, the Asus ROG Strix G27A-Q may be the best gaming monitor for you. This screen is ready to compete with the speediest of screens, competing well against other 165-170Hz screens in our response time test and falling just 1 3ms behind in our input lag test. Out of the box, we recorded solid IPS contrast 1158.41. Of course, you'll want to calibrate to get rid of some visible grayscale tracking errors, but our recommended settings can help you there. This is also an excellent HDR monitor, thanks to a dynamic contrast feature that bumps contrast up to whopping 22,506.91. Not only does it have the sharper resolution of your dreams, but it's one of the rare monitors to allow you to run blur reduction alongside side screen tear fighting adaptive sync. Alternatively, the Asus ROG Strix G279Q is another fantastic 1440p option with similar performance, but for slightly less money as of writing, $500 versus $570, respectively. The G279Q features one of the best motion blur implementations we've seen and the rare ability to run motion blur alongside adaptive sync.